Welcome back to Chefing with Shane. Today we're making delicious cinnamon roll muffins. It's two worlds colliding, making delicious flavor. And I can't wait to show you guys how to make this. This one is a fat kid's dream. Stick with me and I'll show you guys how to make it. All right, let's get into it. First step of most baking recipes is mix together the dry ingredients. We got 2 cups of flour going in, a 1/4 cup of sugar, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And we're just gonna whisk that together. We just put those dry ingredients aside. Now we're gonna go ahead and go in with the wet ingredients. We got a 1/2 cup of milk. I'm putting these in a larger bowl than I did the dry ingredients because we're gonna pour the dry ingredients into this wet ingredient mixture. Put the 1/2 of a stick of butter in there, or 4 tablespoons of butter. Next, we're gonna crack in 1 egg. Then we're also gonna do 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now we're gonna go ahead and whisk that up. And I melted my butter. You can room temp it for earlier in the day if you're planning on making it or leaving it out overnight. I've never had any issue. I always melt my butter for the most part. I think there's probably people who swear by leaving it out, think it changed anything, but I've made tons of baking recipes and they always come out great. We're just gonna go ahead and throw in our dry batter. Do about 1/2 of it. Whisk that in there. Okay, and now we're just gonna go ahead and throw in the rest. You can also use an electric mixer. It's always a mess when you're baking in the kitchen, so don't clean your kitchen before you bake. That's my advice of the day. Or if you do, at least plan on cleaning it twice. Now, I feel like I gotta get my hands in here, guys, because it's gotta take up more of those dry ingredients. It's not soaking it all up, but that feels like a really good consistency. That's what we're looking for. Really doughy. Feels great, like a big dough ball. And now we're gonna go ahead and get the cinnamon sugar ready. All right, now for a critical part, the cinnamon sugar. I got 1/2 cup of brown sugar here. I'm just using a fork to mix this together. I also have 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. And we're just gonna kind of mix that together. And this is gonna be obviously a bulk of that cinnamon roll flavor. So there's nothing wrong with there being a couple decent sized pieces of brown sugar in there, but you definitely want to incorporate it well so you get that cinnamon flavor well displaced. At this point, I have went ahead and lined the baking sheet. All you have to do is get a cupcake pan and put some liners in there. And I'm just gonna kind of plop some of this mixture in there. And I'm gonna use a tablespoon, but probably less than a tablespoon. And we're gonna fill these muffin pans with about halfway up with this batter. And this batter is really almost like doughy, like bready. All right, at this point, got those filled up. Now we're just gonna go ahead and sprinkle, if I can get it to out here, sprinkle in some of this cinnamon sugar. Decent little layer of it. And guys, I'm really looking forward to this one. This is one of those, I just love muffins. I made a delicious blueberry muffin recipe that you guys can check out on the channel. Those are amazing. It's just super nice to be able to have something that you can grab quickly on the go. take it to work for breakfast, something like that. You know, it's just nice to have a nice sweet treat on the go that's homemade and you know what's in it and it's nice and delicious. Anyways, got all that cinnamon sugar right on top. Now we're gonna go ahead and put that dough, it's batter, but dough, we're gonna kind of form that back up, put a nice little lid on that. And we're gonna do that to all of these. You're gonna want this to go up about 3/4. All right, we ended up being about one little top short, but that's all right. We'll just, this one right here, we'll just end up going ahead and eating it. I'm sure it'll still be delicious. It's just gonna be missing one layer. And so we're just repeating what we did on the first step. And we still have to make a nice, delicious glaze for the top. Because what's a cinnamon roll without the glaze? But this looks delicious at this point. We're gonna get this ready for the oven. All right, like I said, we're just doing a simple glaze here. We got 1 cup of powdered sugar, 2 tablespoons of milk, and lastly, 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And guys, baking is a lot of fun. I enjoy it at least. And it really, it's one of those things like, yeah, you have to be precise, but as long as you follow the good recipes, and you guys are already halfway there, because like half of cooking and baking is finding good recipes, and that's my job, guys. I find the good recipes for you, and we make this together. And so here's the good recipe. You just gotta follow the recipe and it's gonna come out good. Make sure you don't mix up the tablespoon and teaspoon and the measurements. As long as you do that, you'll be better than 90% of bakers. But look at that, guys. That is super simple and that is just absolutely amazing. Now we're gonna put this in the fridge for a little bit while our oven is finished preheating and our muffins bake. All right, now time to go in the oven. 375 degrees for 18 to 20 minutes. And you should probably take them out at 18 just to make sure, just to check them, because you don't want to overdo them. And you know they're done when you can stick a knife or toothpick through them and it comes out nice and clean. All right, it's been 18 minutes, oven's beeping. I'm gonna take these out and have a look and see if they're done. We're gonna leave these to cool for 5 minutes before we transfer them over to a wire rack. And then when we transfer them there, let them cool some more before we throw on this glazing. This is a great time. It's been about 8 minutes. And we're just gonna plop these on a baker's rack. Let them finish the cooling process, but they are still warm. They are not hot. I touched the pan with my bare hands. Anyways, these are smelling absolutely delicious and I just cannot wait to try them. All right, they've been drying. It's been about 8 minutes. And now we're just gonna drizzle on some of this delicious glazing because everyone knows what's a cinnamon roll without the glazing. It's dry, it's not very good. And guys, honestly, I don't have cinnamon rolls that often. It's kind of like donuts to me. Like I don't eat donuts that often. They're always delicious when I have them, but I do love muffins and they're, like I said, they're quick, easy, portable, and they honestly, they last, you know? Like it takes probably, you know, like they're always good for like a whole week. They're always good for a whole week and you can take them in the morning, quick snack, breakfast. Because some people skip breakfast, so it'd be nice to have something simple and easy to take on the go. But look at that, guys, that is amazing. And we even have some more of our cinnamon sugar. If need be, we can always throw some more on there. We also have some additional glaze, but these are done, guys. I cannot wait to try them. Let's try one. All right, it's done. Let's try it. Look at that. Looks absolutely delicious. Let's take a bite. It's got that delicious cinnamon, sugary flavor. But the glazing is perfect. You can even maybe cut it in half, throw a little bit of glaze in the middle, because these stay together well. I mean, that thing's not falling apart. Delicious, delicious recipe. I definitely recommend trying it out. Don't forget, like, subscribe, really helps out the channel. Check out some of the other videos, and as always, the link for the recipe is in the description, along with the ingredient list. Check it out for yourself, and I will see you guys in the next one.